This is all part of President Trump pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal put into place during the Obama administration. These new sanctions hit Iran's shipping and financial sectors, and most importantly, their oil industry. This follows a previous round of sanctions that went into effect earlier this year. The U.S. wants a new, tougher deal that addresses not only nuclear weapons, but also Iran's ballistic missile program, and that addresses a list of items the U.S. put forward back in May, all aimed at reducing Iran's influence in the region.
The Iranian regime has a choice. It can either do a 180-degree turn from its outlaw course of action and act like a normal country, or it can see its economy crumble. We hope a new agreement with Iran is possible. But until Iran makes changes in the 12 ways that I listed in May, we will be relentless in exerting pressure on the regime.
The White House knows the sanctions could drive up oil prices and hurt U.S. allies, so Washington will grant temporary exemptions to 8 economies: China, India, Italy, Greece, South Korea, the Taiwan region, Turkey, and Japan. It's not clear if these economies would have stopped buying oil from Iran despite the new sanctions. Iran will only be permitted to use the oil money sold to economies on the exempt list to buy non-sanctioned items like food and medicine. China is reacting to the unilateral U.S. sanctions.
China expresses regret at the U.S.'s decision. We also noted that the international community is widely against unilateral sanctions and long-arm tactics. The comprehensive agreement on the Iranian nuclear issue is a multilateral agreement approved by the UN Security Council and should be fully and effectively implemented.
Keep in mind that Iran has always complied with the terms of the nuclear deal and are thought to still be in compliance despite the reimposition of U.S. sanctions. Iran's president says the new sanctions are illegal and will only further isolate the U.S. on the world stage.
What the Americans are doing today aims to put pressure on people, no one else, just on people, and on other nations, other firms, other governments. We are not the only ones angry with the Americans. Even the European firms are angry with the U.S. policies. The European governments are also angry with the U.S. policies.
There were protests in Iran over the weekend. The current sanctions have already taken a toll on the Iranian economy and, most importantly, the Iranian people. The country's currency lost half its value since April, and consumer prices have shot up for many items. Over the weekend, Iran's foreign minister told the USA Today newspaper that his government would consider new rounds of talks if the Trump administration changes its confrontational approach. So perhaps there's some hope negotiations could resume. Jim Spellman, CGTN, Washington.